What is the biggest thing Dutch students misunderstand about studying in Korea?
It's not all K-pop. It's not all K-drama. Although there is drama, but it's not K-drama everywhere.
Okay, I know what you mean. I don't necessarily agree. I get a little bit offended when people in Seoul say that Busan is the countryside. I'm like, "Oh, I don't like it when people call Seoul everything. There's so much more outside of Seoul, especially Busan. Busan is still a big city, but there's even really great smaller cities all over.
Here, people tend to be very polite, at least when you communicate with them. But the difficulty is that they are not so very transparent in every situation. They will approach you with a lot of things, yeah, but when the tap is not working, the story becomes a little bit different. Those kind
Yeah,
of things I underestimated as well.
Koreans can be a bit, yeah, like you mentioned, it sounds like they're not genuine most of the time, or in the beginning, then at least it sounds like they're being a bit fake or putting on different kinds of masks. And it takes a while for them to get rid of their masks to show their true colors in a sense.
Korea has two faces, or maybe even more than. One of the
Sure.
things that you should be very careful about is what I see in this conversation happening a little bit is
Mm.
that you should not be a teacher to Koreans. I
Mm.
mean, they have their pride.
You're asking for respect when you don't even have this basic respect. Maybe go back to school, or your parents failed you when you were a child. Okay, I'm getting a. International student recruitment isn't about visas or numbers or money. It's about humans making life changing decisions with the help of other humans, and their work often goes unnoticed. We are here to bring those humans into the spotlight at Dream Makers. Today, I'm with Riemer Kramer. He's Dutch like me. He lives here in Busan like me, and he's building Studeren in Korea, which translates to study in Korea from the Dutch language. And he focuses specifically on helping Dutch students come study in Korea, language school, undergrad, grad, summer, winter programs, the full range. Hi, Riemer. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you for having me. Great. Thank you.
So, in 1 minute, can you tell me what is Studeren in Korea and who is it for? And sorry if I sometimes switch between Dutch and English for the viewers, but we'll keep it in English as much as we can. So, please, Studeren in Korea in 1 minute.
Studeren in Korea in 1 minute. Well, there's a lot to say, but I can just say a few things about it that are quite important, I think. When you come to Korea, it's online everywhere. Studying in Korea, it's very hot. I mean, Korea is hot anyway, also in the Netherlands. But when you try as a student to, let's say, determine where you should go, what you should do, in which timeline you should be fitting in order to be there in time and to get the right educational support, you can't do everything alone. Actually, you need somebody who is having the boots on the ground, as we say. That helps also, for example, parents to feel more secure about their kids because they're young, mostly, going to the other side of the world. So that's why we are there. We don't want to be a very large recruiter. We don't scrape students. We really want to guide them. We want to have them, and we want to be their help desk here in Busan and in Korea and Seoul and wherever they go.
Quality over quantity, right?
Yeah, exactly, because we've seen a lot of things happening in the internet, and we did this before, by the way, in the Netherlands, then having Korean
Okay.
students studying there. This is even a small token of that. Waypoint Holland Education. And that was us when we were in the Netherlands. We are now just here for 1.5 years, so starting up, having experience, not a track record here. But, when you see that, then you want to really take care. My grandson, you can see my white hair, he's a kind of student who wants to go abroad, has now a gap year in Austria, but he still needs, although he's big mouth, he still needs parents also to guide him and other people who are professionals to guide him in the big, big, big world outside.
Okay, then since you were doing this in the Netherlands before, why are you in Busan now? Why over there or over here, I should say?
Yeah, well, even professionals have their private life. Not that I don't want to tell anything about it. My wife is Korean. Actually, she's Dutch now because we worked and lived for many years in the Netherlands. Before that, we were living in Seoul, where I met her. And in the Netherlands, we took this challenge of waypoint education, among other things. I am an educational professional, studied also management and education and so on. And together we did this. And now we're back in Busan because she is younger and I'm old, but not that old yet.
Okay.
So we are now settling down, and for good. We just relocated to Korea, Busan.
Okay, well, welcome to Korea again, I should say. I hope you have a nice time here while you last.
Mm. Well, I mean, Mark, Busan is great, really. I mean, Seoul is fantastic. I've been living there. Busan is completely different. It's really a big, big city with, I think, 3 million inhabitants when you take the whole metropolitan area. But it's a big city, but it's still like, I mean, I don't know whether you know the Netherlands. You do. You have Amsterdam and you have the
Hmm.
Netherlands. So here we have Seoul and Korea, and Busan belongs to Korea. Seoul, of course, as well. But you know what I mean. That's the
Okay,
difference.
I know what you mean. I don't necessarily agree. For me, Amsterdam is to Netherlands as what is Itaewon to Seoul. I think
Oh, yeah.
Itaewon is not Korea.
Yeah, or Gundam. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I get that. Yeah. Yeah, but
yeah, I
Busan
lived
is
in
different,
Seoul.
Mark. Busan
Yes,
is
very
different.
much. I get a little bit offended when people in Seoul say that Busan is the countryside. I'm like, "Oh," I don't like when people call Seoul everything. There's so much more outside of Seoul, especially Busan. Busan is still a big city, but there's even really great smaller cities all over Korea. But when people
Absolutely.
hear Korea, I think that is a problem for international students. When they think about Korea, they only think about Seoul most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So now you started your business in Korea. What is a part from doing it in Korea that you underestimated when you started?
Well, we of course everyone underestimates something when you start new business, but we have some experience. And of course, I've been living in Korea as well. My wife is Korean, so let's say the culture, which is actually the thing that I want to refer to, the culture of Koreans is quite different from what we are being used to in the Netherlands. I mean, about us Dutch, they tell, and I think it's correct, that we're quite direct, sometimes even blunt. Here, people tend to be very polite, at least when you communicate with them. But the difficulty is that they are not so very transparent in every situation. I mean, you have to communicate a little bit more than only one and two times, and then you get to the core. But in the first thing, it is a kind of, let's say, not a shield, but a core. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not completely transparent in the first time. This is what is Korea. Korean people are cautious. They are
Mm,
politely cautious. And if you get to know them better, then you can come to what they actually meant with the polite sentences that they told you in the
mm,
first attempt. That is what is. And when you are a student, enthusiastic, coming to Korea, you probably will face those situations as well. You may have understood, for example, from your university that yes, this is possible, that is possible, and of course we can change whenever you want your study direction. It's not going to happen that way. That's a little bit different. In housing, the same. Very friendly house owners. Well,
mm. Especially when you're a foreigner. I see the horror stories on the internet too. Often foreigners get taken
yeah,
advantage of a lot when it comes
yeah,
to
yeah,
housing or studying, I guess, as well.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
important to have the right what do you call it? Base in Korea or the boots on the ground from someone
yeah,
else at least where you can learn
yeah,
from basically.
yeah,
Go back to what you said earlier, it's a little bit cliche, but often people say Koreans are like an onions and you have to like peel away layers after layer and then go deep. But I really hate that analogy. I didn't want to say it at first, but it helps. Other one is that the Koreans can be a bit, yeah, like you mentioned. It sounds like they're not genuine most of the time, or in the beginning. Then at least it sounds like they're
yeah,
being a bit fake or putting on different kinds of masks, and it takes a while for them to get rid of their masks to show their true colors
yeah.
in a
Yeah.
sense, or their
Oh, you see
deeper
it in the
layers as an
language as
onion.
well. I mean, I'm studying this. This is also something that you may underestimate, and I want to say something about that. I'm studying Korean right now online with a very nice teacher, very good teacher as well. But in the language, is also there are these politeness forms are not for nothing there. You need to keep a certain distance from the one that you are talking to in first instance. I mean, also from the past, from the kingdom of Joseon, there is a lot of remaining culture in the language. And people
Mm,
don't say immediately what they mean. They have all kinds of phrases that go around that, not to touch base immediately, because that might be risky, if you open yourself immediately and you don't know the other guy, yeah,
mm,
then what may happen. So this is in the culture all over. And this is the onion kind of thing that you mentioned. I also don't prefer that, but I fully
mhm,
understand what you mean, and that is what you should be aware of if you come to Korea. And that makes the point to language courses, if I may, Mark. It
mhm,
is absolutely essential that when you come to Korea, that you dive into the culture and the language. And I would even say that when you are thinking about having a proper study course in Korea, like a bachelor or a master even, Don't try to do that without any knowledge of the language. You don't get contact with your campus friends easily. You don't understand everything because universities don't offer all their courses in English. It's not there. It has to be done in Korean. So I would advise people to come here if they come for an orientation. Dive into a short language course or dive into culture. Do even a temple stay. Sniff and get the scent and then feel like, wow, this feels good. So language courses are essential. Even when you start at home online is beneficiary. Do that. Don't forget that. You need it in Korea. It's not like in the Netherlands that you talk away in English and even get your beer in English. In Amsterdam. You can't even order it in Dutch anymore. That is not here. And certainly in Busan and other smaller places in this beautiful country, it's not possible. They speak Korean. That's it.
Yeah, it's for us it's different, of course. My boss Rodel was mentioning earlier that wherever he goes, he hears Dutch people talking about how good they are at speaking English, like that we're the best non-native speakers in the world, non-native English speakers in the world, which we are. And I guess I'm also guilty of mentioning that when when the English language is mentioned, at least. So if my boss is seeing this, then you are hurt. Maybe we should
Yeah,
maybe we need to
yeah,
stop that. But yeah,
yeah,
in the Netherlands you can go anywhere with English. Every
yeah,
98% of the
absolutely.
population can hold a basic conversation in English. But in Korea that's not the same. So if
No,
you before you come or as soon as you come you start learning the basics of Korean, you don't have to be
you have to
fluent,
do
but
that.
just be able to have basic interactions with people without making things awkward. It will be good. There's also now this saying like, "Oh, if you want to succeed in Korea, you have to be fluent in Korean."
Nope.
I don't agree with that.
Well,
It's just you need to know how to survive, and especially with technology nowadays, it will get easier and easier. But you will, if you speak Korean in Korea, it will open more doors. But we
you know
don't
what,
always need
Mark?
more doors.
Yes, yesterday I surprised someone in the 지하철, very difficult word for the metro, and I said to her in my best Korean when the lady came in. She was older than me, and I was almost there where I needed to be. So I stood up and I said to her, "Annyeonghaseyo," which means please take a seat. And she really, with large, big eyes, looked at me like, "Wow, this foreigner is really speaking polite Korean." And you
Yeah.
have it at that moment. People look at you like, wow, nice. And you made mistakes, it doesn't matter. They don't find that a problem. They appreciate that you try it and
Mm.
just do that.
I wish my wife was like that. If I mispronounce something slightly, she's like, "I have no idea what you're saying." Just really, and then she repeats it, and it was exactly the same as I said before. So I'm glad you
In your
have a good
ears.
experience.
In your ears.
In my ears. Nah, it's I
Yeah.
think it's objectively it sounds almost the same, but it shouldn't like destroy the whole sentence if I mispronounce one word. There should be like a sort of a guesstimate of what I said. But according to my wife, I'm not. She can't understand me then. So I'm happy you have such great experience in Subway. But for me, I guess outside I'm okay, but in the at home
Yeah.
I get bullied by my wife. Okay. So what is one thing about Korea you think Dutch students should hear before they come, or even if it's not the fun answer?
Well, the one thing is that don't expect that everything is like on television. I started this with Korea is not K-pop only. It's only a small part of the country. And K-pop has been exported very successfully, also supported by the government to many countries all over the world, as you see in Netflix, all the K-dramas as well. But it's not that Korea. Korea has two faces, or maybe even more than that. Korea is a techno country. For example, in medicine, it's perfect, excellent. It ranks number two on the world list of best countries in that perspective. Number three is the Netherlands, by the way. Uh, Technology, not only in medical sense, but technology is high, but not everywhere. I mean, if you go to a restaurant where they grill you, let's say, a fish or whatever, you see that they are just carrying coals and they heat it and they blow it and it starts to glow. It's very primitive. It has its charm as well, by the way. But enter a very small siktang, which is restaurant in Korea, only a few tables, you still have to push the buttons on your digital screen to order something, which is quite complicated instead of just saying to the lady, "Can I please have fish soup?" So
Mm.
this is Korea as well. High tech, advanced, high on the rankings in world rankings, I mean, but there's also poverty. And
Mm,
people sell this kind of onions, not only onions, carrots and hot peppers and whatever, just sitting on the street. Old ladies bent like this because of their back problem, sitting on the street also in wintertime. That's also Korea.
okay.
It's
Yeah,
not
the tech part,
balanced
I
yet.
guess, for there's a little bit of an age difference as well, right? For you, the tech part might be hard because it's new to you, so you have to adapt to that. And but Korea also adopted all these new tech solutions very fast because of Corona. So there was less interaction between the people and the workers, and also they
Yep.
can scale down on their staff with the if people just order them themselves. Also, it eliminates error.
Mhm.
Like if you order something and then she brings you something, you're like, oh, I didn't order this. But if you have to do it yourself on the little tablet, it's like, hey, you clicked it and then you clicked order, so this is your fault. I kind of prefer that. There is no room for interpretation, at least with the ordering on the tablet. And I'm from the millennial, so for me the tablet is fine, I guess.
What I actually wanted to say with this example, Mark, is that there is not all everywhere. There's not a balance yet in Korea.
Mm,
It's a fast developing. It has been a fast developing country. I mean, only what are we talking about? In the 50s, this country was poor, 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 very poor, and
mm,
developing country, as we said. Now it's a leading country in industry, in marine technology, in whatever you call. It's very advanced right now, but it also has gone over a very speedy growth, maybe too
mm,
speedy, maybe too fast. So that's why the balance is not yet there, like, for example, in Western Europe in many countries.
mm.
And you just notice it. So,
Korea grew really fast economically, financially, but socially they are a little bit lacking in
yeah,
compared to,
yeah,
I guess, our culture. It sounds kind of
it sounds
like a
discriminating, but
Western
it's
way, yeah, a little bit. But no, Korea
no,
socially
no, no.
is definitely behind, especially because they want to be a player in the big in those Western spheres. I think so. Socially, they also need to catch up, and not just financially. Like the wealth gap in Korea between poor and rich is really
Hmm.
high. There's famous Korean directors like Bong Joon-ho who keeps making movies about it, and people love the movies, but they're not changing the situation whatsoever.
Definitely. Maybe I make a hook on that if you allow me. One of the
Sure.
things that you should be very careful about is what I see in this conversation happening a little bit is
Mm,
that you should not be a teacher to Koreans. I
mm,
mean, they have their pride. I mean, if you would say like "ha" in a business talk or a student to a professor, I think I know what you mean because that's a risky one because Korean people do not generally like to be tutored, let's say so.
mm,
They may be offended by that, although they won't
mm,
show it immediately, but they may be offended by that. So you have to be a little bit careful. And it comes back to what is the difference between what you experience in Korea is the cultural difference. It looks like
mm,
very Western, very modern, at the same time, when I look out of my window, I see a beautiful mountain, I see a temple, and I see very traditional things happening. Also, with CEOs, executives who go there and pray. So there's a big difference in traditional culture and modern advanced progress, let's say so.
mm.
Honor and dignity, respect is still a very essential thing here.
Yeah, it's also a little bit skewed. Like we were talking about language earlier, and then there's so
Mm.
many different honorifics in the language. But I'll give you an example from my personal life. Sometimes I see people breaking the law, like parking on crosswalks, or last week there was a guy smoking next to the daycare center where
Which is
there's
not
signs
allowed.
everywhere. You should not allow, not even within like 50 meters of it.
Yeah.
And then I tell him, no, I tell him, what the hell are you doing? Don't smoke here. Are you blind? Kind of thing. And then instead of admitting their mistake, that like, okay, I'm smoking next to a kindergarten, I'm a bloody idiot. No, they come to me and say, hey, you should use the honorifics when you're talking to me. I'm like, yes, that really boils my blood. Like this asshole. I don't care. We can swear. It's my podcast. I swear if I want to. This asshole he's
Yeah.
smoking next to a kindergarten where little kids go in and out constantly, and then he's getting offended by me using banmal, like not using honorifics with him. It's like, ah, you're asking for respect when you don't even have this basic respect. Maybe go back to school, or your parents failed you when you were a child. Okay, I'm getting out of control.
Now,
It's
let me
very
put it like
personal
this.
to me.
They come from a restaurant, 5 of them, they come from a restaurant like this right now.
Mm,
So you have the pavement there, you're walking towards your shopping mall, and they come out of the restaurant. They come everywhere out of restaurants because they have only restaurants in Korea, I think. No other buildings look like, coffee shops as well. They look like this, and
mm,
they don't see you, and they block the street, and they just
yeah.
stand there.
Mm.
So makes your blood boil sometimes, but as an easy way, you just go on
Yeah,
because
I
they have a
shoulder check
radar.
them.
They have a radar. And if you're close, they just go.
And if they don't go, they get hurt if they hit me, so I don't really care anymore. But yeah, those smartphone
Yeah.
zombies, it's been in Korean news everywhere. They're really smartphone zombies. It was so bad they have to make traffic lights that light up on the ground to show you when you can cross the street, so you don't have to look up from your phone. It's
It's going to
insane.
be a
It's
nice
insane.
interview.
Yeah, get censored completely. Half the interview got cut, and it's fine. Like I don't mind sharing my opinion, my real opinion of Korea. I'm Dutch. I'm direct. I don't like being fake or wearing a mask. So if this gets out there, it gets out there. If it makes some nice shorts, then I'm fine with that too. Yeah. Especially, I want to see all these LinkedIn gurus comment like, "Oh, you need Korean to be successful." Like, okay, come, let's have a discussion.
However, you entered this podcast in this interview something with we have dream makers here in Korea.
Yes,
So I'm supposed one of those. I'm supposed to be one of those dream makers, right?
yes, you are a dream maker.
Yes, I'm a dream maker. But what I'm saying actually, I would like to slightly change the wording. I'm a supporter to dream makers. I don't make dreams, and I invite everybody who wants to come to Korea to cling to that dream because the dream is made in the Netherlands or wherever they come from.
Mhm.
Their dream is to be made because I can do that. But what I can do is to support your dream to come true. This is why we are here, actually. I mean, if you have your dream and you are disappointed because all those things that we just had in this interview, oh my God, what should I do there? It's very difficult. I don't speak the language. People are crazy there. They look on their phone. They don't even see me. What is this? If you have that, then your dream may be scattered to pieces. It's not that you want that. So we are supporters of dream makers, I think. That's the
Okay.
nuance that I would like to put there.
Uh, For me, I thought it
Uh,
more easily. Like if people's Dutch people dream of studying in Korea and you help them, that makes you the dream maker. For you went a little bit deeper.
yeah,
Everybody who comes to Korea has those pink glasses on. So like I had that too. I was always a big defender of everything Korean and Korean culture when I first came here. But after a couple of years, those pink glasses go away, and then you are becoming more of a realist, I guess, instead of a yeah, someone wearing pink glasses all the time, basically. People should come here and people should experience the real Korea, but it will probably be different than they're expecting. But I think that's in different countries as well. Like if you want to move to Netherlands, they probably have some expectation, and it will be different when you're actually there.
I've been living in Istanbul for 10 years. I know my way quite around there in
Mm,
Turkey. And it is there the same, although specific countries have their specific way of doing. And that's also the exciting thing. I mean, if you go to Korea, you will be excited because the culture envelops you in a way that is exciting. It should be different. That makes it worthwhile going here as well. It's not, I mean, people want to break away from the Netherlands sometimes. They want to have another experience in studying abroad. This is
mm,
exciting. This is your dream. So I'm very happy that it's not the same here as it is, for example, in the Netherlands. But you have to know where you go. Be prepared, and we are there to help. That's it.
mm. So you're there to help, but if Dutch students could hear directly from Dutch students already living and studying in Korea, do you think it would change conversion or why? Like, would they be more willing to come to Korea or less willing to come to Korea?
Let's face it, I'm a wise guy with white hair, but peers to peers work better. And we are now
Mm,
busy with involved in the project, and you know that, Mark. And the first 4 students who have been studying here, shorter or longer, they have entered the platform, and they are now going to make content in their way, peers to peers, to make people in the Netherlands who still doubt or want to go or didn't know yet, to make them enthusiastic to come here. And that is the way it should be. And when they have experiences on the campus, the nice experiences, of course, but also the ones that you should tell them, the newcomers,
mm,
beware. because also these stories matter, and that is what we do right now.
Yeah, I didn't mention it on the podcast yet what we're doing, but Dreammakers also is an at Better Tech. We made Dreammakers Enterprise. It is a platform for student recruiters to make their own little influencer army that helps them bring more leads. See, a lot of
Yeah,
student recruiters already have an ambassador program. Now you have a scalable wait, a lot of student recruiters already have an ambassador program, but it's a little bit scattered or not very clear. And now with the Dreammakers Enterprise program, you have a structured and scalable way to get more leads from your student ambassadors, from your past clients or from your current clients, that they will bring those high quality leads to you that
yeah,
are more easy to convert. Because in this business, word of mouth and referrals is still the best way to get new clients and students.
yeah,
But I don't want to let it take over the podcast. If you're interested in the Dreammakers Enterprise, just send me a message. But Reamer, today I want to focus on you. So
yeah. Hey, here I am.
so those students that are talking to other students, what would you want them to share that actually really helps other potential Dutch students to come here? Like not hype, but real reasons or real trade-offs that they should come and study in Korea.
I think actually, Mark, you can study in Korea. It's exciting, but also study in Japan, which is probably the same, let's say, also exciting, also new, also qualified. People also tend to go to Canada or New Zealand to study. I don't want to touch that. The idea is to get away from Western European culture and ways of doing, refresh your mind, reset your mind, and go then to a country that has to offer a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things being offered here. And one thing which makes it easier than in the Netherlands, for example, is housing. I mean, it's not easy in so, but it's 5 times easier than to get any housing in the Netherlands. We were, as I told you, busy with Korean students going to universities and universities of applied sciences in the Netherlands. We had contracts with those institutions. But the problem was always, okay, we have half a year or 1 year housing for you, then you have to move because newcomers have to get in. And then, because housing is a big problem. That's also why in the Netherlands and probably in other countries as well, the governments there are not so keen on international students. They say, oh, we have too many of them. Instead of that, here in Korea, they need international students. Huge amounts of money are right now located towards universities, university programs, scholarships, and what you may, millions even. And I'm not talking about millions of ones, that's easy. I even have them. Millions of dollars of euros is put into internationalization of also education. So it's a big opportunity. And what I said, housing, Seoul may be the most difficult, but in Busan or in smaller places, it's not that difficult. And there is a dormitory, and also renting a small place is affordable and it's possible. That's one of the things that is a big advantage over at least the Netherlands and probably more countries in Western Europe.
Okay, related to that, I have a quick call out. Reamer is actively looking for Dutch students who are currently studying in Korea or already studied in Korea that want to showcase what it's really like and why other Dutchies like ourselves should consider coming. So, Reamer, who exactly are you looking for? Give me a profile of someone you would like for you to join you in your Dreammakers enterprise platform to help other Dutch people come to Korea.
Well, the ones who have been here or short or longer term and have experiences here in Korea studying here, but also experiencing life. I need to have some guys who can blog in their way, or not blog actually, make video content on TikTok or on Insta or Facebook. Probably doesn't work even that, but YouTube channels as well, who have a little bit feeling, but they definitely don't need to be professional filmmakers. In their way, what they already blog now to their friends, what they share with their friends in social media, and you can earn a little bit of money with it. And we make the content brief. I mean, we tell what it should be about. And what is it about? Well, first 5 days in Korea, or
Mm,
my walk through the city with a campus guide, or
mm.
my first lesson in Korean. Oh my God! Or you name it. Or my
Going
dormitory is a mess. I mean, that's the things that we actually need
going to a
to have.
Korean restaurant with my Korean boyfriend eating Korean food in Korea. That goes into cringe marketing. Let's not do that. Okay. Thank you for letting us know. I will put your contact information in the description of the YouTube video, and then people can maybe even directly sign up to
Oh
your
yeah,
platform in there. Hmm.
definitely.
Okay. Then I'm going to pressure test you a bit, founder to
Yep.
founder. Where do you think trust is won fastest with Dutch parents? Is it transparency, proof, or responsiveness?
For Dutch parents,
Yes. So
looking
their
at
kid
me
is
as
going
an
to study
agent,
abroad.
you mean? Looking at
Yes.
me as an agent. I think one of the things is trust. I think the other thing is we don't want those fast internet guys guiding our son or daughter. That's
Mm,
why we are Dutch, and that's our unique selling point. And the one thing that is very important is safety, Mark.
mm,
And Korea, no doubt about it, something happens here as well. But you can put your phone on the table in a restaurant and it won't walk away because of two things. First thing is that it's not in the culture to steal somebody's property. You should just don't touch it. One. Second, if you would do that, you would be followed by thousands of cameras that exactly pinpoint where your guy is walking with your phone. So nobody does that. Nobody
mm,
does that.
mm,
The safety for example, which is a big issue right now in the Netherlands and other countries, is safety of personality. I mean, of your person yourself. Let's face it very clearly. Young women in the streets in Korea are definitely more secure, safe than in the Netherlands. And this is what parents look at. And not only, by the way, not only ladies. This is also counted for guys. This is okay. Sometimes, of course, something happens, but not in the way that it happens in the Netherlands. So that's an
mm,
issue for parents, safety. And when something is the matter, 7,000 or what is it, 7,000 kilometers from home, more even, I think,
mhm.
then it's nice to have one. You can just call and say, in my case, hey, Mr. Kramer in Dutch, can you please help because there's a problem?
So then,
So,
to answer the question of where you think trust is won fastest, if I listen to your answer correctly, it is a combination of transparency and responsiveness, I think.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
To be fair, I have my ass grabbed on the subway by Korean grandmas way more than I got my ass grabbed on the subway in the Netherlands. So I have to.
That's your personality, Mark. I can't help
Why
that.
do these grandmas keep grabbing my ass? That's the question. I don't know.
I don't want to know even.
No, I'm scared of the answer. So, what would you tell a Dutch student then who's 80% excited of studying in Korea but 20% scared? What would you tell him to sort of eliminate the fear for that student?
Don't do everything alone. I mean, you can come a long way. You can find a lot in the internet. Find a friend who is already studying here. Actually, that's a very good advice, I think. But many of them don't have that friend yet. Then just touch base here. Give me a call. It's a free call anyway. 20 minutes for free. Doesn't harm. We give you the basics and you know where to reach us. And that gives at least 10% of those 20% away. That's it.
Mm,
Do a lot yourself. Be a dream maker yourself, but get some support of people like us. Basically, what we do, I mean, in the Netherlands, to be honest, we got a fee from the universities. In
mm,
Korea, that's a little bit complicated. Many universities say they can't, they are not allowed, which is not completely true. It was true, but it's not anymore, I think. But basically,
mm,
it's the fact that they don't want to do that. So, what we do is when you want our services after those 20 minutes of free call, you could choose basically to have standard assistance or intermediate assistance, or if you want the whole shebang, then you have the ultimate package. And then you pay a service fee for those.
mm,
Just have a look on the website. You can find easily what it is. And that doesn't
mm.
mean, Mark, that a call in between will immediately do ka-ching on the register. That's nonsense. That's not
I
how we
just
work.
really wanted to make that 0906 joke because it was stuck in my head,
No, no,
and people
no,
will not
no.
understand only if you're like old and Dutch. Maybe even the younger generation will not understand, but I really wanted to make that joke. So,
No, my
okay.
number is plus 82 10 9207 9942.
Yeah.
Very
It's on
clear.
your website too. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking
Absolutely.
at your website actually. So, yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So people will know how to reach out to you because you already said it, but I will also put it in this description.
yeah.
I think that is all my questions I had for you today, Reemer. So thank you for
Well,
coming. Is there something you want to ask me?
no, I don't want to ask you anything, Mark, because I should ask that somebody else. As you told me yesterday, I didn't get yet an answer, but that will come, I hope. No, no. Thank you. What I want to say is, I mean, thank you for this opportunity to just expose our small consultancy firm, which actually also don't want to grow into a very big one. We don't want that. We actually want to, well, our mission is to take care of you guys. And of course, we want to earn some money, but actually, that's our mission. It's in my DNA. I've been teaching training, educating in Korea, in Istanbul, in Turkey, but also in Estonia for almost all my life. And as you can see, that has been a very nice and long life already. So please, we are there for you. Call us.
This would have been the perfect moment to say that you want to help people make their dreams come true, but it's fine. Your answer was also good. So thanks again for coming, Reamer. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you. And
Sure.
yeah, have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
This is Dream Makers, the human stories behind international student recruitment. See you on the next one.